Hello, and thank you for purchasing this yardage book from SCIPD. Before we get into the course that you have chosen, I would like you to keep a few things in mind as we work through the book. You will not find many, if any, obstacles stated in this yardage book. You will only find guidance as to where to hit the ball rather than where not to hit it. This may seem like a small detail, but in our experience of developing juniors, we have found that the more obstacles players are aware of, the more they are drawn to them. Secondly, most of what is written is based upon our course management philosophy of creating opportunities. These are not birdie opportunities or par saves like you will hear talked about on TV. They are simply opportunities. Opportunities for you to make the next shot great, not because the last one was bad or because you want to putt from a certain score on your next stroke, simply because the shot you are about to hit deserves all of your attention, focus, and a positive attitude. We hope you enjoy this yardage book and the guided tour of the golf course as much as we enjoyed making it for you. Be sure to thank everyone that is working so hard to put on a great event for you to compete in. They will greatly appreciate your smile and a handshake as you say thank you. And gentlemen, please be sure to remove your hats when doing so. Have a great tournament, and we will look forward to seeing our books being put to good use out on the golf course. As for the course itself, I would like to go over the symbol key to make sure that you fully understand everything you are about to come across when creating a strategy for your rounds. The checkered circle is going to represent the line of sight that was used to measure the depth and features of each green. It will be in line with the middle of the fairway, so if you are on one side or the other, you may want to tilt the book to get a better view for how the green is shaped from the side of the hole you are playing from. The dotted lines represent slopes or undulations in the green that are significant enough to cause your ball to bounce or roll off of them. As you work through the book, you will often see numbers on both sides of these dotted lines, representing the number of paces from the front edge of the green to the bottom and top of the given slope. The curved solid lines represent greenside bunkers. It is important to note that not all bunkers are marked, but the ones that are marked are meant to provide you with some perspective about where the features of the green are in relation to the bunkers. The arrows indicate the severity of the slopes. Simply put, the more slender the arrow, the less influence the slope will have on your ball. The slender arrows are very subtle slopes. The moderately thick arrow is enough of a slope to where you don't want to be on the high side of it, and the thickest arrow is definitely something that you should negotiate around in order to create opportunities for yourself throughout the round. Before we get into the actual yardage book, I would like you to push pause, print out the book you just downloaded just in case you haven't done so already, and go get a pen or pencil, then come back ready to take some notes about what you're about to hear. The opening hole of Willow Glen features a fairway littered with bunkers and a couple of very mature oak trees to contend with. Although you will be left with a short to mid-iron into the green, it is best to hit a club off of the tee that leaves you short of the bunkers, as well as the portion of the fairway that narrows significantly. Leave yourself 145 yards for your approach, and the bunkers will not be in play off of the tee. The green features a mild slope just beyond the midway point. If the pin is in the front of the green, it is best to be just below the hole for a good look at birdie. If you come across a back pin that is on the upper level of the green, it will be best to land the ball a yard or two beyond the top of the ridge and let it release towards the hole. The very back right portion of the green has a low spot that will cause most approaches to roll left to right once they hit the putting surface. Be very aware of the wind if it's blowing, as it will give you something else to consider with this approach. The second hole gives you two options off of the tee. Either hit a club down the right side of the fairway that will leave you between 150 and 165 yards to the green, or hit the ball around the tree that is on the left side of the fairway, leaving you a short club into the green. The tough part about this fairway is that it slopes left to right as the fairway takes a sharp turn to the left. You will need to carry this slope in order to not have your ball kick into the right rough should you choose the more aggressive play of going over or around the left tree. The green is quite complex, offering 3 different levels. The two slopes create very distinct regions in the front, middle, and back portions of the green. The front portion of the green slopes hard towards the front edge, making it extremely important to stay below the hole. The middle section, between the two slopes, has a slight slope towards the front of the green, but since you only have 7 paces from the top of the first slope to the bottom of the second slope, just getting onto this part of the green without any funny bounces will be a great shot. The back portion, or upper tier of this green is fairly level, but not very receptive. If you are hitting a longer club into this green, you may find it difficult to get the ball to stop to a pin positioned on this portion of the green. Do your best to favor the left side of the green if the pin is on the top shelf, as the right part of the green in this section falls off significantly. Just like the second hole, the third hole requires a precise tee shot to a very narrow fairway. The nice thing here is that when your ball hits the fairway under normal conditions, it should roll quite a bit. Watch your alignment on the tee box, as the tendency is to line it on the left side of the fairway. As long as you don't go left of the fairway, this is not a bad play, but favoring the right side gives you a bit more room should you hit less than a perfect shot. The third green does not show much activity in terms of undulation or slopes, with the exception of a small ridge at the back of the green that separates the back right and back left portions. The slope should help a ball feed to a back right pin, but will not do the same to a back left pin. It is common for a ball to release a bit more than what you are used to onto this green. It is gently sloped from back to front, but typically is not the most receptive. Allow for a couple extra yards of roll with your approach shot. After a long walk or shuttle ride up the hill to the fourth tee box, you will be looking down at a fairway that runs adjacent to the hill on the left and a lake skirting the right side of the fairway. The best play here, without wind, is to aim at the left edge of the lake and hit a club that will end up going between 190 and 200 yards on a level surface. This will put you in a great position to get it close to any pin on this green. If you choose to hit a club that goes farther than suggested, then be sure to aim further left in order to take the lake out of play. The only disadvantage to going further left is that you will have an odd angle into this green. The green itself offers a rather pronounced slope running towards the lake all the way around. There is a large slope that separates the front portion of the green from the middle and back portions. If the pin is in the front, you will want to hit a shot with less spin over one with more spin in order to control how the ball reacts once it hits the green. If the pin is on top of the slope, then controlling the spin will be important as well, so the ball does not spin down to the front of the green, leaving you with a long and difficult birdie putt. It is best to stay below the hole to any pin on the screen to leave yourself with a good birdie opportunity. All told, the hole is short, but will show its teeth if you are too aggressive. The fifth hole is the first par 5 you will find on Willow, and it will tempt you to bomb a drive over the water. But with the prevailing wind that is usually hurting rather than helping, carrying the lake is a tall order. In order to carry the water from the back tee box, you will need to carry the ball 260 yards, again usually into the wind. If you are capable of this, then bombs away. But there is no shame in playing this hole smart and getting to the green in 3. If you choose the conservative 3-shot route, favor the right side of the fairway with your tee shot, and favor the left side of the fairway for your second, in order to give you a good angle into the green. If you decide to go with the aggressive route, over the water, and you end up with a shot at the green in 2, you will find it best to aim for the front left portion of the green. If the pin is back right, you will want to let the ball roll back to it, rather than trying to carry the bunker that sits to the right of the green. The back right portion of the green will not receive a long iron or fairway wood well, and you will be left with a very awkward shot from a short-sided position, likely giving you a frustrating par rather than a tap-in 2-putt birdie. If you have taken the conservative route and favored the left side of the fairway with your second shot, you are going to find that you are positioned perfectly to take aim at any pin position. The green has a small mound coming off the bunker on the right that will help a ball feed toward the middle of the green, but it is not necessary to use it from the left side of the fairway. There is a slight slope from back to front, so stopping the ball with a wedge or short iron will not be difficult. Staying below the hole is not entirely necessary here, but why not have a short uphill birdie putt rather than a testy downhiller? The sixth hole is a par 3 with a few features that will penalize you for getting out of position. There is a low spot at the very front of the green that everything will be drawn towards if the pin is in a front location. The two slopes you see in your yardage book will need to be negotiated properly if the pin sits behind either one of them. The best play to a middle or back pin position is to hit the ball to the middle of the green and putt to the hole locations. If you find a back left pin position, stay short and right of it so your ball has plenty of green to utilize, and it will eliminate a very difficult up and down from the left or behind the green. The seventh hole gives you two options off of the tee box. The conservative play is down the left center of the fairway with a club that goes 235 yards. The more aggressive play is to aim at the left edge of the bunker and use the hill that sits just behind it to give you some extra yardage and a much shorter club in your hand for the approach shot. The green is not very complex, so you will be okay with the more conservative route, but if you can carry the ball 265 yards and you want to have some fun, then take it down the right side. The green, as stated before, is fairly level with the exception of the front portion. There is a pronounced slope on the front left part of the green and a false front that will catch any ball that doesn't carry at least 6 paces beyond the front edge. If you come across a front hole location, your best play is to go a bit long of it to give yourself a birdie putt. Trying to stick it close around the two slopes could leave you with a very difficult up and down. If the pin is in the middle or back portion of the green, then take aim at it. The only caution I would give is if the pin is back and you are between clubs, go with the shorter one so that going over the green is not an option. The eighth hole is a par 5 that isn't very exciting until you get up to the green. Blast away off of the tee for an opportunity to get home in two, as there is plenty of room for recovery should you miss the fairway. If you cannot reach the green in two, then it will be best to favor the left side of the fairway with your second shot. Lay back to a yardage that will give you a club to the green that you are comfortable with and that you can control well. Leave yourself outside of 115 yards for your approach to take the hazard on the right out of play. The green slopes away from the ridge that runs from the middle left to back right portions of the green. If the pin is below the slope, then stay below it for an easy uphill putt. If the pin is on the middle to back right portion of the green, use the slope to help your ball feed back to the hole location. The upper shelf doesn't have much slope to speak of, but it is not very big, so distance and spin control is key. Be sure to check the wind for your approach shot, as it will be in your face under normal conditions. The finishing hole in the front nine is a simple par 3. You will find mounds on the right side and back edge of the green that help feed the ball back to the middle of the green. If the pin is in the back right corner, the best play is right up the midline of the green and just short of pin high, leaving you with an uphill putt and a great birdie opportunity. If the pin is in the front or middle, you will find it best to stay below the hole. If you happen to get above the hole to either of these hole locations, you will want to be careful as the ball tends to maintain its speed as it travels down towards the creek bed. The back nine starts with a par 5 with a bunker on the right that can be carried if you're able to fly the ball 260 yards. If you cannot carry your drive that far, then tee off with a club that goes 230 yards and aim for the left center of the fairway. If you choose the aggressive route, then you will have a good look at getting to the green in two. Should you choose the conservative play, making this a 3-shot hole, then lay up to a comfortable yardage so that you have a club in your hand of which you have good distance control for your approach. The 10th green features a slope that will provide a good backstop to a front left pin location. Any other pin position is easy to get at, as the rest of the green slopes from back to front. As many greens as Sycuan's 3 courses, below the hole is best here for a good look at birdie. The 11th hole is a par 4 that will require 2 good shots to get onto the correct portion of the green for a birdie putt. Favor the left side of the fairway with your tee shot, as it will give you a good angle to the green for the approach shot. This green features 3 distinct sections. The front and middle left sections are separated by a gentle slope. You will find it best to be on the same level as a front or middle pin, but a 2-putt par is not difficult if you end up above or well below the hole. The back right portion of the green will require a more precise shot to give you a look at birdie. Although the back right portion of the green is not severely sloped, it is very easy to catch the slope that is in line with the bunker on the right side of the green, giving you a lengthy birdie putt back up the slope. The 12th hole is a par 3 that will require a shot that lands softly to a 2-tiered green. If the pin is in the front portion of the green, short of the slope, You will find that the ball will release onto the green if it lands at the very front edge. The front portion tends not to receive the ball very well, so be sure to allow for a few extra yards of roll if you find a front pin. If the pin is above the slope, then be sure to calculate an accurate yardage in order to carry the slope. With the correct club in your hand, feel free to be aggressive to hole locations on the top level, as there is not much to speak of in terms of undulations. The 13th hole is about as boring as they come. A wide open fairway will guide you to an almost completely flat green. As uneventful as it may seem, do not lose focus off of the tee or into the green. This is a great birdie opportunity, but it will still require 2 full swings and a putt to get the job done. The 14th hole is another lackluster attempt at a golf hole. A wide open tee shot will lead to an uphill approach. The only real challenge is to take enough club to get up to the green so you will have a good look at birdie. The green itself slopes very slightly from back to front, but nothing that will penalize you if you happen to get above the hole. The 15th hole is friendly off of the tee, but a bit more challenging as you approach the green. Favor the left side of the fairway off of the tee to give you the best opportunity to navigate the undulations of the green itself. This green features a false front that ends about 5 paces beyond the front edge. If you find a front or middle pin, it is best to stay below for a good look at birdie. If the pin is back right and you have a short club in your hand, then go ahead and take an aggressive line to it. If, for some reason, you have a mid-iron in your hand, it will be best to be pin high and left of the hole location. If this is the case, get yourself on the green in regulation and enjoy walking to the next tee box knowing that you made a solid 2-putt par. The 16th does not offer much in the way of a challenge off of the tee, but distance control into the green will be important as it is severely sloped from back to front. Stay below any pin position so you will have a good look at birdie. If you so happen to get above the hole on this green, be gentle with the putt as it is sure to maintain, if not gather speed as it nears the hole. The second to last hole at Willow Glen is a par 5 that usually plays into the wind. Favor the left side from tee to green so that the trees on the right do not come into play. If this is a 3-shot hole for you, be sure that you leave yourself a club that does not produce a lot of backspin for your approach. This green features 3 levels, of which it is best to stay beneath the hole on the lower and middle sections. The upper level is fairly flat, but only about 10 paces deep, so distance and spin control are key. If it happens to be windy coming down the stretch, be sure to obtain accurate yardages so you will be on the same level as the pin. Whoever designed the last green at Willow Glen was either having a bad day or wanted to do their best to make sure that you have one. A healthy par 3 that has 3 distinct levels to it, each of which are separated by severe slopes. Depending on the club you tee off with, you will want to either hit a high approach and land it on the appropriate level, or keep it a bit lower and allow the ball to roll up the face of the slope and onto the same level as the pin. The 3 sections of the green feed slightly left to right, so favor the left side of the green and use the contour of the putting surface to your advantage.